All right. Okay. I literally just finished watching The Whistleblower. It was not my plan to do it on a Sunday night. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I had to celebrate a holiday called Rosh Hashanah. Lashna Tova, if anyone that is Jewish and celebrates and is watching this. Uh, have a happy Jewish New Year. Anyways, The Whistleblower. Uh, Very powerful in its subject matter for me, but very underwhelming in its storytelling. Felt very formulaic. But we're not talking about film structure or storytelling or any of that right now. We're talking about the contents of the movie. So, question one: what are the lasting effects on your lens on the world as a result of watching this film? Is that human trafficking is very gross and it makes me physically ill just thinking about it and watching it even. Like kids was a whole different thing because that was on screen, simulated stuff. And this is a little bit different in that they never explicitly showed it. They always hinted at it. Uh, or if there was in a physical location where there was sex happening, they only showed the face of the characters. It was the one uh, scene when Raya is raped in front of her fellow. Uh, I don't even know what the term would be. I don't want to call them sex slaves. That doesn't sound very appropriate. Um, but yeah, I would say that it's still a big problem, uh, in that it is an I should say an not an underwhelmed, not under and not not unknown, but it's not as well known. It's not a problem that we actively talk about in the world, and even specifically in the United States. And I really want to do more to stop sex trafficking. To me, it is a big issue. What are the key issues of social inequality that are present in this film? One of the definitely one of the big key issues I would say is post-war countries, especially during the Bosnian War. My phone is making noises. Uh, in any war torn country, there's going to be a lot of social inequality, especially in the the beginning. Well, not the beginning scene, but one of the first scenes when Catherine goes to investigate a domestic violence incident, and the victim is a Muslim, a Bosniak, as they would call it, if I'm correct. I believe that was what the term is for a Bosnian Muslim. Correct? I could be wrong. Yes, they are Bosnian Muslims, and and then the prejudice that they faced, especially during the Bosnian War, when it was so complicated, everyone was fighting each other, and it was like a three-way war. That doesn't make really much sense to me, but that is one of the big key issues of social inequality. And I would say another issue is the trusting the word of women, because the main protagonist, Catherine, is a woman, and she's the one that finds out about the sex trafficking ring, and then the men in charge of the UN peacekeeping organization tries to cover that up. And it is a way too common thing in society that we can't trust women's word or a woman's word. I don't know why. Stupid patriarchy likes to control everything. Um, but that is another key issue, I would say, with social inequality, the whistleblower. What part of this film relates to your own lived experience? None. I don't have any relatives that work in international relations. Uh, no one that has been involved in any sex trafficking ring, or thank God. Yeah, I can't really say it relates much to my experience. How does course material inform your understanding of social inequality presented in this film? Shoot. Forgot to do that, didn't I? Oh no. See, I was so wanting to get the movie done that I forgot that there's readings, which is my fault. And I'm the big dummy. Oh wait, I did read this one. Yeah. I did read this one. Uh, the contract now it's covering the camera. There we go. The contractors gone wild article from the Mother Jones website where uh it involved the U.S. Marines during the Iraq War, essentially using or not they're not using, but they are essentially free reign of of materials given to them by the U.S. for their army base, and then just taking advantage of it. You know, I would say also, I think also they had a lot of uh, what you call it, a lot of a prostitution ring. Sorry, I'm just reading what I remember reading and just going through all of it. Uh, and the fact that they were not allowed to, that they didn't report the irregularities, and uh, it was their responsibility to. And they also mention um, the contract, the military contract with DynCorp, which is the company or the organization that is the inspiration behind Demarca, Demarca Security, which is the organization in the Whistleblower, right? Democra Security. That's the name, and it just provides an insight of how international or national officers take advantage of the resources in their area. In this case, the Iraq War had supplies and prostitution, whereas in the movie, sex trafficking in Bosnia by the UN. So there's that. Now, next question. Sorry, I'm scrolling down. What points in this film did you experience? Or no, sorry, I skipped one. How does this film apply to your understanding of social inequality among diverse cultures? Uh, I would say with psychology as well, with the psychological aspects and how traumatic events can severely affect someone's mindset, and how, and if they have trouble saying no, and if they are not well, or if they have they don't want to be in a room by themselves with another man, and it's that, and first glance we're like, well, what are you doing? That's stupid. What are you? Are you some weird person? Whereas no, it's a traumatic event that happened, and we have to understand where they come from. And so it helps with understanding of the different inequalities that people have come from, and the traumatic events that happened to them, and that we should never judge someone and call them weird. Okay, at what points in this film did you experience a sense of culture shock when you were exposed to an element of culture you were not aware of? Definitely the rape scene, when Raya was raped in front of her. Again, her fellow, what you call it? It was very brutal, and the screaming was just, oh man, I don't think I've seen anything like it from what I know. Very much of a culture shock. Uh, how might this film be used by colleges and universities to increase awareness and support for underrepresented college students? Uh, I would say with mental health. That's what I would say. Um, Mental health. I would say anyone that has a condition that is related to mental health, depression, anxiety, uh, ADHD, OCD. I would say they are considered to be an underrepresented group, uh, in that they are not necessarily mentioned in a lot of programs, syllabi, uh, or even universities saying we are proud to have a medical health center for mental health and whatnot. You just don't see that very often. Uh, and it can increase awareness and support for people that have gone through traumatic events, which I would say goes in with mental health as well. In that, in providing support and not judging people. Going back to the question of the social inequality among diverse cultures, of not rushing to judge someone because they do a specific thing that relates back to a traumatic event. Anything else you can think of? This was nominated for uh like seven, what was it called? Like it was whatever like the Canadian Oscars are. Like it got nominated like 7 times. Or like it's got 7 nominations, which I thought was interesting because even though the content is very powerful, just the storytelling in general was just felt very forced. Uh, but I would say a good movie overall. 3.5 stars out of 5. I'm generous like that. I don't think any movie is a really really bad movie. But yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I could think of. So that's the Whistleblower. All right, I think we're off next week. So, anyone celebrating Rosh Hashanah? Lashana Tova. Uh, any holidays I need to know of? Yeah, I would say that. All right, take care, everyone.